Hello everybody, this is Caesar. I wanted to make a video today about loving kindness meditation. It's a Buddhist tradition, and when I considered myself a Buddhist and was practicing regularly, this is something that would really help me. And I've been thinking for a while now that it would help me to do again. So I wanted to kind of do it for you as my ASMR audience. And I'm not divorced from this idea. It's just that today the sounds outside are not forgiving. So I'm trying to make do and give you something in the meantime. Something that requires a little less editing. Because at the level I've been working on lately, it's a lot of work, and I really enjoy editing. I kind of want to become an editor, but today I don't have the time to do it. So I thought, well, whenever I release a video that just discusses things kind of openly in this more casual format, people say that a fair number of people say that it still is relaxing for them. So I'm hoping that's the case here today. So we can do a little conversation. And I hope to open it up to you all as well. If you'll comment after the video or sometime when it strikes you about the subject of loving kindness meditation, and if that's a good idea, if any of the things I say in this video make you think, and yeah, if you have some thoughts about it, just let me know. So, loving kindness meditation. It's been years since I've done this regularly, and it's I remember just this feeling of frisson, the French word for shivers, I think, like goosebumps, which is that feeling that you get that people sometimes relate to ASMR as these goosebumps you get when you listen to like music you really love, that you're really emotional about, energized about, or otherwise, and your hairs stand up on end, and you can kind of get it all over your body, but it's kind of a fleeting phenomenon. But I think everyone gets it, so that's why it's very useful to talk about in relation to ASMR. But I would get it during the meditation. For me, loving kindness meditation was a practice that sort of renewed my childlike belief, and that I still hold to this day. This belief that the belief that we're all one, at least in a way, at least. We're having, even though no one can see exactly from your perspective and your experience, and there's always nuance there. That's true. But on the other side of that coin is the truth that we're all experiencing such a similar experience as a human being, that it's kind of easy to feel love for another, for anyone that's a human being, kind of no matter the situation. So that makes it very special, an openness and a love that exists under all of our fears, in a way. It's there, and it can be brought up with certain movies, like Christmas movies, stuff like that. All sorts of touching things that kind of reminds you of this feeling that we all have, certainly most people, that there is this underlying warmth toward our fellow human. Saying this, even now, I'm starting to remember a bit more clearly my experience then. And this helps me get to this point, closer to this point, motivating me to do it today. Just, in the present, sometime when I can. So I wanted to do it for you all. And I don't think I can get there today, but I think that's okay. In the spirit of loving kindness to myself, that's where it begins ultimately within yourself. I have to follow whatever pace my creativity and my emotions and my mind and body allow me. There's all sort of extenuating circumstances there, right? But if everything's of sound mind and whatnot, then that's kind of a good way to go. Like, follow your gut in a way. So right now I'm trying to follow my gut. And my gut tells me to just make a casual video for you. So that's why I'm here. Loving kindness to me, loving kindness in general is a practice of gratitude and realization of what you have, not what you want. And it can also be what you want to work towards in the name of love and kindness. But I believe it starts, number one, within you, for yourself, kindness and love for yourself, but also in the moment. Gratitude for what you have in the moment, and maybe what you've had, the chances you've gotten that maybe other people don't have, or, just all the things that you're thankful for, materially, creatively, familially, all your relationships that really help you out in life. I myself am thankful for a lot, and I think I regularly express this to my friends, but I think I could do it more, and it would help me. I don't know at what point there is too much thankfulness, but I think it exists. I don't think I'm there, is my point. I think probably most of us aren't there. It helps such thankfulness in general, and gratefulness is now a practice. Well, I mean, it has been before, but I think now it's more of a needed practice of our present day. More of that than ever before. I'm going to slow down my speech now because I'm trying to draw upon more of a intentional flow of feeling rather than, I want to say logic, but I think that's not giving it enough credit. So let's just leave it there. Oftentimes, at a job I once had, I would take a break. I would have half an hour off, and I would sit down and I would eat my packed lunch that I packed for myself, and I would be thankful for that. And I would be thankful that I had time that I had to myself. And sometimes I would be thankful for the fact that I was earning an income, that I had a social circle at the job, as well as other wares. But the thing that was really interesting is I found I had an ability to have that feeling of frisson, goosebumps, pretty readily. There was at this job a few windows, and it was often pretty outside, even when it was rainy. And so I would look out and just enjoy the scenery. And I used to be, and I guess I still am, sort of, an artist. I was more of a visual artist. I would draw all the time, and that would be my sort of self-therapy. So I have an appreciation of a certain degree for aesthetic and enjoying sights and taking in beauty, appreciating it, oftentimes wordlessly. So I would get this frisson. I believe I would also sometimes get ASMR as well. Less often. Because ASMR is just kind of harder to get, I think. And oftentimes it's connected with relationships, interactions with others, but not always. I think very much that it is possible to feel this, the tingles that we're all looking for when we watch these type of videos like this. To get that without interaction from others, and to kind of, what's the word? Make it happen within oneself. And you don't need anything special. I think if I were to make a guess on what sort of thought process or feeling would is the most common to get a person to feel the tingles by themselves, I would guess it's gratefulness. So I would be sitting on my break, on my chair, eating my lunch, looking out sometimes, just enjoying the fact that I didn't have to work for the moment and that I could have a moment of rest. And sometimes it would just be the look of my own hands. To me, hands are beautiful. Hands are very beautiful. They're so useful, and hands are rarely give you a poor aesthetic. I would find these things to look at and to listen to, the sounds. Oh, sometimes it would be high tones I would just appreciate while I was on this break. And it would give me a bit of ASMR or frisson. I'm saying that I have had this ability since I was very young, I believe. I had this ability to relax myself when I had a mixture of focus, and letting go, which I've definitely mentioned in past ASMR videos. In a way, for many meditations, perhaps all of them, it's such a statement, I know, that's kind of the aim for meditation as well. Letting go with focus. I wouldn't say focusing on letting go, but I would say letting go with a focus. Something like that. I oftentimes wonder if people who experience the phenomena of ASMR, tingles, have this ability as well. If you have a moment to yourself, if you have this ability of letting go with a little bit of focus, the ability to give yourself frisson, or more interestingly in this case, ASMR. I've put in my descriptions for, I think, years now, that I believe ASMR is possible just by listening to nature. Essentially, if you take the world in around you with appreciation, at its core, that can be the building blocks for ASMR. Now, that's not to say that interactions with others, or even imagined interactions, such as our virtual ASMR experience, just watching another person, isn't a fantastic way to give you the tingles ASMR. But I think it's important to think of the possibility that you don't need them. Human beings are social people, right? Interactions are important. You should watch these sort of videos as much as is reasonable, / how much you need. But I would also like to venture an empowering thought for you all, that you don't always need them to have this feeling. That more than anything, it could be within you. I don't think in my history of meditation that there was any lack of feeling. I could experience just about any depth of emotion in any direction, any feeling that I wanted to. Sometimes it's not where you want to go that's where you are. You don't always go where you want to go in meditation. But I feel like with practice, it's very possible. And certainly anything that's possible with other avenues of mind expansion is always possible in meditation. In essence, I believe meditation is possibly the final frontier. It embodies all possibility of feeling and emotion that one can experience, with practice, of course. Knowing that you have this ability within you with practice is always the caveat. You can't just sit down and do whatever you want at any moment. It does certainly get better with practice. But with that you can achieve anything inwardly, and therefore affect your outward performance, at least slightly. I found that I'm a certain type of social person since this interesting time we've lived in the last year and a half. It's been harder to have in-person relationships, for sure. And I found at this point that I'm in a little bit of a sort of drought to where I've ventured as far as I can, I feel like, oftentimes, online with people. And that I need additional in-person relationships again. And I've moved. So, I mean, it's also another reason why it's difficult. My bubble has shrank. The people that are in it are fantastic, and I love them. It's great to have them. But I do crave more, and I do crave different types of relationships. These are things I'm realizing. I'm also finding, that my social nature goes beyond just wanting those relationships. It's also such that I crave those relationships, I think mostly in person, to help motivate me in many ways. I need a certain sort of friendly competition. I need accountability. And I need different perspectives thereof to go where I want to go, be who I want to be. I'm very proud of where I am now, but I still want to grow. It feels interesting sometimes, wanting these relationships so that I can want to meditate more. I don't think it's necessary at all. I think it's just part of who I am. I like to have friendly competition. It's important to me. And if I don't have a certain amount of that, it can be difficult for me to be motivated to do certain things. Being competitive is a certain this or that sort of advantages and disadvantages, for sure. It helps push you. But it can also be a drawback when you want to just do something on your own. Loving kindness meditation is one of the most important types of meditation for a lot of people right now, I feel. And something like it can benefit people. An exercise of gratitude is all you need. I'm told it's best to do it at the same time daily. But when starting out, just getting it done on any level is acceptable. I've heard of making little scraps of paper with notes, writing down what you're thankful for, and collecting those in a jar. You can put them on a wall instead. You can collect them any way you like. Having them around is a good way of reminding you. It brings you back, looking at that handwriting from that moment. It brings you back, just like a picture or a song, to a point. So now I think I'm where I can fill myself with a little bit of loving kindness, because I've thought about it to this degree. I hope this has helped you do the same. And whether or not you meditate per se, or just have a simple gratitude exercise, I hope that you have enough. I do believe it is important. Do it your own way. Listen to what you know about yourself. Follow your gut. For me, I know, for some reason, having this video sent out to all of you helps me. There's a little bit of accountability there. There's a little bit of focus. I want to perform for you. And in doing so, I find things along the way. It's a tiny bit of fake it till you make it. It can be a good way to go. Sometimes you just figure things out along the way, and that works. I'm going to do my own exercise right after I turn off this video, because it got me there. I hope it can help you get there as well. Thank you. Until next time, this is Caesar.